And hello everybody, welcome to another edition of A Druids Dozen. It's episode 63 I believe, and hope you enjoyed last week's Druids Extra short special. I was out at a gig, playing a gig, supporting this lot. Syteria, Jackie Chambers from Girls School, lovely lady, and it was a cracking night, but more about that in a bit. But anyway, yeah, my name's John. I'm, some people call me the Rock Druid, and basically this is just a video where I'll spend about 50 minutes or so waving some of my albums from my large collection in front of the camera and chatting about them. So, without further ado, shall we dive into this week's selection? I think that would be a good idea. Okay, gonna kick off with a bit of this. Here we go, there's the front. This is You Can't Stop Rock and Roll by Twisted Sister from 1983. There is the front. There is the back. There's Dee and the boys there with the album credits. There's all the lyrics. And yeah, 98. This is Twisted Sister's second album. Came out in 1983, and was the one that broke them. Well, worldwide really. And my first experience with Twisted Sister was I was on holiday. Well, we were visiting family friends up in Cumbria and watching Top of the Pops, and they said, here's a new release, this is an American band, Twisted Sister. And Twisted Sister walked on looking like that and played I Am, I'm Me, which is still one of my all-time favourite tunes. And while parents were horrified, me and my mate Michael, who was the eldest son of the family we were visiting, looked at each other and went, wow. And the following morning, we were down the local Woolies buying the 7-inch, which I still have around somewhere. But yeah, a great album. There is no doubt about this is an all-time classic. It contains the big hit single, the I Am, I'm Me. Also a couple of other singles off here. The title track was a single, I believe, as was The Kids Are Back. All great tunes. Other cuts on here, like A Knife in the Back, Ride to Live, Live to Ride, The Power and the Glory, We're Gonna Make It, I'll Take You Alive. Yeah, it's got a slightly ballady, what is it, You're Not Alone, Suzette song, but you know, I'll look upon that track as a bit of a, it's not particularly great track, that one. I do look upon that as the glitch, because you can't really have perfection. Not true perfection anyway. But, yeah, cracking record. Still my favourite of all Twisted Sisters albums. Still one that I play regularly for my own listening benefit. And if you like a bit of metal, you know, with a big shock rock value, then this is a great album. Yeah, they got all the kind of mummy baiting, sort of like shock rock imagery on the makeup, but you know, the songs are great. They're a fantastically talented bunch of guys, Twisted Sister were, and you know, and it's, you know, kind of almost like anti-glam really. It's just some really good stuff. So yeah, Twisted Sister, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, 1983, for metalheads everywhere. Okay, come up with this one next. This is the people I was playing with on Saturday, supporting Lee's. Our mates had them there, and the Hellcats are also on the bill. But anyway, Syteria, and this is Rant-O-Bot, their first album from, I think this one's 2017. I'll check inside. But anyway, There's the front. Love the artwork of a female fire-breathing robot in a post-apocalyptic ruin. There's the back. Pop this open. There is the disc. Slide this out. There's the booklet. There's the credit. There's the back of the booklet with the credits on it. Jackie Chambers from Girls' School there. And then this is lyrics here throughout, I think. Yeah. My favourite member of the band, no Jackie Chambers, but that's Julia Calavo, the lead singer. And there we are, she gave me one of these. It's a Syteria sign plectrum that she actually used at the gig. And yeah, lovely lady. Her husband, Pablo, plays drums. Who was a really nice guy. Actually, they were all really nice. That's the bass player, Kira Kenworthy. She's no longer with them. She stepped down from the band just after this album was recorded. Don't know why, didn't ask. But I got a new bass player in. Yeah, Syteria, a lovely bunch of people. Fantastic live set as well. And I'm going to go and see them again on Thursday, because they've invited me and the Alien Stashing guys down as special guests to go and visit there, because they couldn't get us on the bill for the Thursday gig in Bristol, but they've invited us to come down and hang out, which is very rock and roll indeed. But anyway, yeah, so if you're in Bristol on Thursday, you want to go and see Syteria with Adam and the Hellcats. I can't remember who the opening band is for Thursday, but yeah, come on down. I'll be floating around the venue. But anyway, Syteria's first album. I do have their second one as well, but unfortunately only digitally. But I intend to correct that when I see them on Thursday. Couldn't really have the cash on me to get both on CD last weekend. But anyway, best way to describe Syteria. There's a big girls' school street running through them. They got that kind of girls' school, kind of straight down the line, no bullshit heavy metal, with a bit of a punk kind of vibe to them as well. Tight as a duck's backside, and you know, this album lays out the stall of what Syteria do perfectly. You got cuts like I'm All Woman, Stupid Girl, The Hypocrite, all in your face. It's quite feminist as well, quite you know, up the ladies, which I'm well for, because I'm quite a balanced PC type guy. Not in a negative way, but it's just that I think that, you know, if being PC means that I'm not being a sexist, homophobic, racist little piece of shit, then call me PC. But anyway, just cracking track. Yeah, okay, this album does kind of launch into a little bit of conspiracy theory with tracks like Sheeple and New World Order, which, yeah, maybe not my bag lyrically, but the music is just great. Jackie Chambers is, not saying this because she's a woman, that will, not only will that be sexist, that will be unfair on a lot of other guitarists, because Jackie Chambers is just a great guitarist, full stop. She can shred like anyone, and you know, the girl power on that guitar is very powerful indeed. Overall, this is a sweet album. I prefer Reflections, their second album, to be honest with you, but this one's not far off the mark either. Just a sweet piece of in your face it's a good fun party album. It's a feel-good record, and I recommend that everybody out there that likes a bit of feel-good metal gives it a listen. Yeah, Rant-O-Bot, Syteria, 2017. Absolutely storming. Okay, next up, we're going to have something from the rare end of the collection. Here we go. Aphrodites Child and 666. Oh, the devil's strong on this one. Not really, but yeah. There's the front. There is the back with the lyrics on it. If you open it up, there's some kind of artwork about a car crash and album credits. I don't think there's anything on the inner sleeves here. Oh, hang on a minute, I didn't check the Twisted Sister for the run out groove, did I? I'll show you the disc itself. No, nothing on the run out groove. Atlantic Records, that's the Twisted Sister. Put old Twisted Sister back in the rack again. Now, whip this out. Again, Vertigo Records, Vertigo Dean, not the Spiral, unfortunately. And I won't bother checking the other disc because it's going to be the same. And no ran out group message, just catalogue number on there. Now, this is a very interesting record by a very interesting project. Aphrodites Child were a Greek progressive rock band. Formed in the late 1960s and carried on through the 1970s. This particular album is... I can't remember. It's 1973, I want to say. Let's see, it says on the disc here. 1972, this came out. And they're most interesting because they have two guys in the band that went on to hugely successful solo careers. The first one is the keyboard player, which is Vangelis Papathanasiou. I don't know, I can't speak Greek, apologies to any Greek viewers. But basically it's Vangelis, did all that movie soundtrack work, you know, Chariots of Fire, etc. And the vocalist and bass player is one Denis Roussos, who's probably best known for his kind of sort of Greek, you know, contemporary soft pop interpretation of Greek folk song. But you know, back in the day, he was a bit of a kind of hippie, and yeah, he did a couple of albums. About 3 albums, I think. Aphrodites Child did. Band rounded out with a guy called Lucas Sidras on drums and Silva Colorosis on guitar. And they got some guests, like saxophone player and a narrator, John Forst, who was a British actor, I believe. Yeah, Irene Papas, backing vocalist, etc. Anyway, this is a massive sprawling concept work about the biblical book of Revelation, all kind of folklore and, you know, Christian mythology and this, that and the other. You know, I have heard kind of fundamentalist born again idiots ranting on about 666 is an album about the devil. No, it's about your bloody Bible. So, you know, and I'm not a Christian, so I don't believe in the God or the devil, so it's not going to affect me at all. But anyway, you know, Christians can leave hate comments down below. But anyway, this is a great album. It's a sprawling work that it goes beyond standard prog rock. It brings in elements of traditional Greek folk music. It's got classical elements. It's got hints of kind of krautrock in it. It's goes jazzy in places. It's just a superb piece of music that just flows together beautifully. The best known section is probably the track The Four Horsemen, with the chorus. The leading horse is white, the second horse is red, the third one is black, the last one is green, which has become a standard cover for virtually every Eastern European black metal band. But you know, it just kind of flows, it sprawls. There's the last track on here, which is all the seats are occupied. It's just a huge, about 13-14 minute kind of instrumental play out that's just mind blowing. Other highlights on here, there's Altamont, title of which refers to the tragic events at the Rolling Stones gig at the Altamont Speedway a couple of years previous, but it's the old breaking of the Seven Seals, kind of lamb on the high mountain looking down, bowls filled with sugar and anger, etc., you know, kind of stuff. Yeah, just a great work, great piece of music. And again, this one's quite collectible in its original format, you know, the old double vinyl. If you've got the Vertigo Spiral like labels as well, even worse. But you know, still available on CD and still available digitally for a reasonable amount. So you know, if you just want to hear, if you don't want to collect the record, just get the digital or the CD version. It is absolutely storming. One for prog rockers and just lovers of great music everywhere. Aphrodites Child, 666. Okay, next up, we'll have some kind of pop rock, pop punk, whatever you want to call it. Here we go, Elliot Miner and Solaris. There is the front, and this one was 2010, I think, something like that. There's the back. There's the disc. There's what layeth behind the disc. Popped out the booklet, and there's just the personnel listing on the back there. And annoyingly for us old bastards with fading eyesight, indigo blue lyrics on black paper, nah, mark off of that straight away. You know, I do like to read lyrics when I'm listening to a record. You know, you can't read that. You know, it looks lovely and arty, etc., but you know, to me, it's just a complete waste of time, space, and energy. For which whoever came up with the cover concept should be dragged out the back and shot slowly with blunt bullets. Anyway, Elliot Miner, a band who, until fairly recently, I honestly thought were American. They sound very American. They're very pop punk, very much in the kind of Good Charlotte kind of vein. Maybe it take themselves a little bit more seriously than your Good Charlottes, etc. But overall, I thought these guys were Yanks, and I found out these guys are actually from York in the UK. Came off the same scene as bands like Asking Alexandra, etc. This is their second album. They were, Elliot Miner, probably best known for their eponymous debut album that was a big hit in the UK indie charts and a massive favourite with the kind of emo kids back in the mid-noughties, and then, or late noughties. Then this one came out. It's a darker album, it's a more serious album. It's maybe not as accessible as their debut album, although personally I do have both albums and I do prefer this to the debut. It's got a slight maturity to it. The other one I find is a bit kind of throwaway and naive, but this one got a bit of maturity to it. It's quite good. Highlights of this for me, oh god, hate draw cases, include, let's have a look, you got The Dancer, Electric High, probably my favourite track on the album. Let's turn back around, Better Than the Courtroom, Discover Why the Love Hurts, etc. You know, maybe go to the doctors for that one, mate. But anyway, sweet record. Sadly, you know, the kind of pop punkers found this one a little bit less accessible, and to date this is their last album. Although the band are on hiatus rather than broke up, they do occasionally reform, bang out the odd single, but we've not heard any kind of album length releases from them for a while. Shame. But anyway, yeah, it's worth a check out. I'll say buy, listen before you buy. But Elliot Miner, Solaris, you know, if you're into bands like Don Brocco and those kind of people, you may find this quite enjoyable. Okay, next up, we'll have a bit of Carlos. Here we go. Carlos Santana with Zebop from 1981. There is the front. There is the back. Slide this out. It's got one of those clear plastic inner sleeves on this copy. Again, nothing on the run out groove. And yeah, not Santana's greatest record, I'll admit. It does contain what was it? Is it Winning? I think it was a fair hit in the States, although it didn't do much over here. And it's kind of marks that period where Santana was kind of heading towards more. Again, not many bands did. Heading towards that old MTV kind of, you know, getting your stuff on telly was more important than writing decent songs. Not saying this is a bad record, it's not. I mean, I have yet to hear a really terrible Santana album. You know, it's just that when it's up against albums like Abraxas, Caravanserai, Silver Dreams, Golden Reality, etc., albums like Zebop just maybe don't quite hit the mark. You know, yeah, it's got all the hallmarks of a great Santana record. Infectious kind of Latino soft rock stylings with heavy influences of jazz. Carlos Santana himself is on fire, laying down some really tasty licks, especially on tracks like American Gypsy and Primera Invasion. You know, it's not bad, but it's just not Abraxas, it's not Caravanserai, it's not even Moonflower. You know, it's just a competent Santana album. Add it to your, go give it a listen, add it to your collection, enjoy it, love it, like it, whatever. You know, but if you're getting into Santana, I don't recommend that you start here. I recommend that you go via here at some point on your Santana exploration journey, but not a place to start. Yeah, that's about it for this one, really. Santana, Zebop, 1981. Okay, something a bit different now. Here we go. This is The Great Unravelling by Sansara. There is the front, and this came out in 2009. There's the back. Open up the Digipack sleeve. don't think there's anything behind the disc. If I can get the disc out. God, there we are. No, nothing behind the disc. There is the disc. Picture of the band walking away from you. I suppose that's for people who want to see the back of Samsara. Open it up. You got lyrics. You got some quite nice photography on this. I don't know who the photographer was, but he has done a great job with some of these band images. And so you've also got the credits on there. Sansara are an interesting band. They're out of Brighton in the UK. Well, they were, because as far as I'm aware, the band are no longer with us. But came out of Brighton in the UK, and they kind of got an interesting blend of influences. They are a white boy reggae band, primarily, and quite a good one. They can skank it up like most people, like the best of them. Apologies, got police sirens outside. The Sweeney's doing 90 because they got no place to go. But anyway, but also they got a big psychedelic kind of psych rock vibe going, and the two sides come together in a really nice, sweet mix. You know, definitely an album for listening to at 420, and you know, kind of I don't know. I really like this. Not really. I can't really play it on the radio shows a great deal because it doesn't really fit the format for either show. Although I have played them in the past just for the hell of it. But you know, for personal listening, this is still a bit of a favourite of mine. Not much other information on the net about them. I know the band broke up. Their Facebook, there's a kind of disused MySpace page that hasn't been touched since the year dot. No Facebook presence or anything. But you know, and I have even there's an email address on the back. I've even emailed them and got no reply. But overall, you know, it may take some tracking down, but if you like a bit of reggae, you like a bit of psych rock, you like trying to listen to the two together, and playing a Bob Marley album simultaneously with a Kinks album isn't really working, get this. Good, it's quite good. The Great Unravelling from Samsara, 2009. Okay, another CD. Complete change of gear, but staying in the UK. Here we go. This is Tat. And the album Tat, or it's the EP known as Tat, or the Tat EP. There's the front. There's the back. Crack this open. There is the disc. Whip out the booklet. Just lyrics, and then there's the credits on the back there. Tat are a London band, punky rock band. I mean punky rock as in they're not exactly pure punk. They got metal elements to them. They're, yeah, that kind of where punk and metal meet. Sort of area where Girl School and Syteria are. But these are maybe a little bit more on the punk side than that. But it's just a great band. I've been around for a while, still going as far as I'm aware. Although this is the only thing I actually possess by them on physical format. I think I've got one of the other, like another EP by these guys digitally. But it's just really sweet. They're a three-piece band. You've got the fantastically talented Tatiana Dimara on vocals and guitar. You've got a guy called Nick Kent on bass and a guy called Jake Reed on drums. And they just lay it down. Only 4 tracks on here. I Don't Want to Love You, Bloodstain, my favourite cut on here, Champagne, Cocaine and Strawberries. Sounds for a good night. And then Live for Rock, which is a real kind of pogo-fueled anthem if ever there was. It's sweetly played. It's the production is rough, but in a good way. It's rough enough to bring out the real guts of the record. You know, dangerous with this kind of stuff, you can overproduce, and this isn't overproduced. Yeah, not much else to say about this, other than it's sweet. Should still be available, and I recommend, if you like a bit of kind of punk metal fusion, Tat are a good band to check out. Yeah, Tat, the Tat EP, or the 4-track EP, it's advertised under various names on the net. I called it the 4-track EP for today, and it came out in 2006. Good stuff indeed. Okay, we'll have a bit of this next. Barren Cross and Atomic Arena, the second full-length album. There's an EP as well, from US God rockers Barren Cross. There's the front. There's the back. Slide this out. I don't think there's any lyric sheet or anything inside here. Nothing in there. No, it's porcupine cut, but nothing on the inner sleeve, as you can see. Music for Nations label, which, you know, yeah, Music for Nations, they signed quite a number of Christian bands at one point, because I think Stripe are on their roster around about the time of the Hell with the Devil album. Anyway, Barren Cross, American God rockers. Band with a bit of a kind of maideny kind of vibe to them, primarily because the vocalist, who I can't remember which is which, is one of these dudes on the back, has got a bit of a Dickinson edge to his vocals, and the music's a bit Maiden. Yeah, imagine Maiden only had one guitarist. It'll sound a bit like this. It's not bad. I'll say not bad because there's a number of reasons which make me kind of not really groove this album that much. First of all, the production is very muddy. It sounds like, you know, produced by a guy called Dino Elefante. It sounds like it was produced by a tone-deaf elephant anyway. It's muddy, it doesn't, you know, this is the sort of music that should jump out the speakers and kill you. It doesn't, it kind of comes out in a kind of sludgy mess. You know, the drums are muffled, the guitars don't chime, they're just... And then these guys are very, very, very opinionated. Nothing wrong with having opinions, but, you know, these guys keep banging on. They are definitely anti-abortion, they're definitely, as the Americans go, pro-life, you know, and this is something which I really dislike about fundamentalist Christians. You know, the kind of, you know, no matter if you're a rape victim or you're carrying a child to term, even though it could endanger your life, you mustn't have it aborted. Oh, no, 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 no. It's against God's will. You know, the invisible sky wizard doesn't like that kind of thing. But anyway, got tracks in here like the Killers of the Unborn and Terrorist Children. It's... you know, and it's something I keep banging on about and giving money to, so it's kind of, it puts me off the band to a certain extent. You know, I do believe people are entitled to their own opinions, but when your opinions can affect lives in a big way, then maybe you should reconsider them. But, you know, overall, I will hold it against them. But, you know, it's a shame because I've heard other Barren Cross records and they're a good band. Maybe this is just one that, You know, musically, they're tight. Production-wise, this album's pretty naff. And like I said, there are ways of getting your message over without coming over like some fundamentalist hellfire preacher. Because, believe me, I used to be a Christian. And I used to do a bit of preaching, you know this. Yeah. And something I discovered, and only looking back and go, oh, I didn't do that, did I? The more fundamentalist and hellfire you get, you don't convert people, you just put people's backs up and turn people away from what you believe. But anyway, a lesson that Barren Cross hadn't learned at this point. The band are still going, they're still banging out bullshit like that. So, lyrically, so it's a lesson they never learn, you know. And so, if you're a God botherer, I'd recommend it. If you're not, then treat with suspicion. Yeah, Barren Cross, Atomic Arena, 1988. Okay, complete change of gear again. This is Pentangle with the Pentangle. There is the front, and this is a, so the album's originally 1968, this is a 2001 remastered, repressed, shed load of bonus tracks on it. There's the front, there's the back. Crack this open. There's behind the disc with some other Pentangle releases. There is the disc, again broken jewel case. I should really go and get on Amazon and buy yourself a pack of jewel cases and start going through replacing some of the broken ones. That is Pentangle themselves, 1968. Looking very, well, 1960s student, I presume. There's the back of the booklet. And if you open it up, you've got the, notice the original vinyl records there, and then you've got a kind of quite an interesting in-depth article by a guy called Colin Irwin about the recording of the album there. Because this is quite an important record for British folk rock. Yeah, because Pentangle, folk rock band. Came out as sort of like the London underground folk club scene. You know, these guys were contemporary with Fairport Convention, the early Jethro Tull stuff. I can't think of some of the other people off that scene, but you know, loads group of people. And the and apparently all these people were kind of quite established on the folk rock scene up until this point, and formed Pentangle, which became a bit of a super group. This was their debut album apparently, and it's a bit of a classic. The main track on here, Pentangling, about an 8-minute epic kind of number. Other tracks in here, you got it's a mixture of kind of some of the original, some of it are traditional. Let No Man Steal Your Time, Bells, Hear My Call, Way Beyond the Sea, Bruton Town, all good stuff. Jackie Mache, the vocalist, is got a sweet voice. You know, very much in the Sandy Denny type vein. The other main guy is a guy called Bert Jansch, who's a talented guitarist, etc. Mandolin player, string guy, main songwriter, all that kind of thing. Pretty good musician. Actually, they're all pretty good musicians. This is as tight as a duck's arse. If you're into Fairport Convention and related type bands, Albion Band, etc., you know, well worth checking out if you haven't heard Pentangle already. Their other albums are pretty sweet as well. I've got a couple of others there knocking around, which you may see at some point in the future. But yeah, bit of a folk rock classic, Pentangle with the Pentangle, 1968. Okay, next up, a bit more vinyl. Here we go. This is from 1979. This is An About Time Too by Bernie Marsden. Good old Bernie. There is the front. Turn it round. There is the back. Whip it out. Nice picture with Bernie trying to sneak in late for work there. And just credits on that side. Slide this out. EMI Records, Parlophone. Again, nothing on the run out grooves, just a catalogue number. Bernie Marsden, of course, classic British rock guitarist, still going strong to this day. Did a bit of time in UFO, also played with Juicy Lucy, and a couple of other bands in the 70s before joining the mighty lineup of Whitesnake. Forget modern Whitesnake, classic Whitesnake, Bernie Marsden, working alongside his sidekick, what's his name, Mickey Moody, laying down some of the finest blues rock ever. And on here he's joined by a stellar cast of supporting musicians. It's got three fellow Whitesnake members kind of chipping in. You've got Neil Murray on bass, you've got Ian Pace on drums, and John Lord on keyboards. Yeah, the latter two, of course, being also the ex-Deep Purple members. Additional drums, Simon Phillips, who, you know, at this time was a jobbing session player, but went on to play with, you know, AC/DC, etc., Judas Priest. The other bass player on here is done by Jack Bruce, the old Cream player. And then Cozy Powell chips in with a bit of extra drumming as well. And then you got Don Airy on keyboards, who was Rainbow keyboard player at the time. Stellar lineup, and this is a pretty good record. You got cuts like Song for Fran, Love Made Me a Fool. It's very bluesy. It's very kind of you know. It's a step beyond the bluesy rock that Whitesnake did. It's heading more towards pure blues, but it's still keeps a very strong rock edge. Brief Encounter, The Sad Clown, Head the Ball, all great stuff. Bernie Marsden's guitaring is exceptional. Yeah, it's always been a bit of a favourite of mine as a G player, is Bernie Marsden, and this kind of proves why the guy is absolutely no slouch whatsoever. As to the current availability of this record, if you look carefully as well, I've had it signed by Bernie himself. Yeah, at a Bernie, not at a Whitesnake gig, at a Bernie Marsden solo gig, no less. But anyway, I don't know as to the current availability of this record. It may take some hunting down. It has had a CD reissue, but as to the current availability, I don't know. So you may have to track down an old CD or go and get second-hand vinyl. But, you know, if you love a bit of great guitar and great blues work and a guy kind of on form, I do recommend this. Yeah, 1979, An About Time Too by Bernie Marsden. Brings us on to our final CD of the day, and a bit of a classic and a new one to my collection. This is, of course, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie. Originally released, it's 72, 73, somewhere around there. This is the remastered edition, 1999. I do have this on vinyl. But I just did a charity shop the other day, saw this for £1, and I thought, save wearing out my original vinyl copy, I'll get this. So yeah, what can you say about this? I'll whip it out first of all. Just a listing on the David Bowie fan club collectors sites. I'll show you the photograph because there's some lovely photography in here and some archive pictures. There's the behind the sleeve, which is partly what you get on the record, don't you? But there's the disc, and apparently the disc, I've not tried it yet, but the disc has got some extra computer gimmickry that you can bang into a computer and it sends you to a website. Now that's the website from 1999. Whether it's going to still be up, I imagine davidbowie.com still going, but anyway. Yeah, pictures. Got kind of the things like the Starman single cover in here, along with all the lyrics. Some fantastic photography from the day. Mainly of Bowie doing his thing. Love that one of Bowie and Mick Ronson rocking out. There's the Spiders from Mars with Trevor Boulder's sideburns. Yeah, what can you say about this album that's not been said a million times already? Not much. It's my favourite Bowie album. I've got to admit, I've got a big soft spot for Bowie, full stop. And this, to me, is, you know, not taking anything away from his other records because he's done some crackers, but this is the one that I love. This is my favourite Bowie album. So I'm having trouble getting this bloody extra. No wonder, because that's hooked around like that. I really do hate jaw cases. Whoever invented them, you know. Anyway, not only is my favourite Bowie album, it contains my favourite Bowie track, which is the opening cut, 5 Years. And it just goes on: Starman, Soul Love, Moon Age Daydream, Hang On To Yourself, there's track Ziggy, Stardust, Rock and Roll Suicide, Suffragette City, etc, etc, etc. Not a duff track on here. Yeah, just a classic. If you want to get into Bowie, this is a good place to start, although if you know Bowie, the chances are you've already got this. But just going to kind of reiterate what a great album this is. David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, 1972. Corking. Was it 73? Whatever, correct. Let me know in the comments. 72, 73? I could look it up, but I've already put the record away. And finally, round about the same period, I think this one's 74. Yes, it is 74. Status Quo and Quo. Been listening to a fair bit of Quo recently, just for my own listening pleasure. The early stuff, well, the early 70s stuff. And yeah, thought I'd drag this one out and wave it in front of the camera while I'm here. There's the front. There is the back. There is the disc, again, Vertigo Dean label. A replacement cardboard sleeve because the original sleeve got well knackered and ripped. It was only a basic paper thing, so I replaced it with that a good few years ago. And if I can get this open, got a kind of booklet thing, fold out stuff. There's all the lyrics there. And there's the classic Quo lineup, being classic Status Quo. Yeah. Oh, has it? Has it? No, just catalogue number. Right, status quo, heavy rock, blues boogie kings, blues rocking boogie kings. This album, say 74, dates from when the band were at their height. Yeah, I've mentioned before that my favourite Quo era dates from the very early 70s, with albums like Dog or Two Heads and Mark Eddy's Greasy Spoon, when they were kind of transitioning from the psych rock into the blues boogie. But I still like the bit of the old boogie bludgeon. You know, Quo were never a subtle band, not especially when they started doing the da 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 stuff. And this isn't a subtle album. Yeah, okay, you've got a cut on here called Fine, 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 which is a little bit on the soft side of Francis Rossi pen number, but you know where you're coming from the rest of it. The opening double, 2 tracks on this, they're segued together. Backwater, which is one of my favourite Quo numbers, into a track called Just Take Me. Both penned between Alan Lancaster and Britt Parfitt, and they both drive. Backwater's got this riff, da 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 ba da. It's just stormy. That leads into Break the Rules, which was the one and only single off this album. Quo used to have a rule throughout the early 70s, 1 single per album and no more. Break the Walls, straightforward 12-bar boogie rock and roll number, about encountering a lady of the night and that she nicks your money. Drifting Away, another Alan Lancaster pen track, one of the heaviest Quo tracks ever. It just drives. Flip it over, don't think it matters, Fine, Fine, Lonely Man. But then you got the 8-minute closing epic, A Slow Train. Again, one of Quo's kind of big they used to do a lot of this stuff in the early days, or the early 70s, where you'll just have a track that you'll just go into a big kind of improvised section, and on here it's great. You know, it's everyone's just heads down, playing away, boogieing to the end. Yeah, just a cracking track. Keyboards on here, guest by a guy called Tom Parker. Andy Bound, the guy that's still with them, didn't show up until I think it was the album after this. He actually started sessioning for him. Although he didn't join until the early 1980s for contractual reasons. But anyway, yeah, quite like the album cover, kind of an organic pencil-drawn Quo coming out of some kind of big tree thing. Yeah, just a great record. One of the, like I said, if you fancy hearing real status Quo, don't listen to the singles, don't listen to the crap they're doing now. Go back to any album between 1970 through to about 1975, and again, avoid the singles, just play the album tracks. You'll find out what Quo were really about, and the reason why I can actually waste status Quo albums in front of you and say this is brilliant without any hint of irony. Yeah, Quo by the Status Quo, 1974. Corking. Well, that's it for this week. Hope you liked my selection, and remember, if you want to agree with me, disagree with me, you know, call me a Satanist for waving an album with 666 in front of it and giving Barren Cross a bit of a hard time. You know where the comments are, down there on YouTube, they're over there on Facebook, and you know, if you've got any personal experiences of these albums, your own personal opinion of them, I want to hear. I like talking music to people. It's one of these things that I do. The gig I played on Saturday, bumped into a guy called Muttley, who we ended up sitting around chatting about Saxon for a bit. Yeah. So, you know, always good to hear from you. Hit a like, and if you want to, you know, when these things are coming out, there's a subscribe button as well down there. And it also helps shed the algorithms as well, so it lets people know that the thing's up, and YouTube to spread it a bit further than it would normally. So thanks for watching, everyone, and don't forget the radio show links are also down there if you want to tune in. And I'm doing a special radio show on BCFM on Monday, looking at the best of the current Bristol music scene, so something a bit extra for you. But anyway, radio show links are down there. And until next week, peeps, I loves every single last one of you. Be good to yourselves, and I'm out of here. Bye.